We are under 2 weeks away from Texas Tech kicking off the 2025 season, and in today's video, we'll discuss the Texas Tech offense and Mack Leftwich and why I think there could be a lot more explosive plays in 2025, most notably because of the improved offensive line and, well, Behren Morton being fully healthy. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome into the RBR, the Red and Black Report. I am your host, RC Maxfield. And again, we're only, 13 days away from the 2025 season officially kicking off out the 806. I know I'm excited. I know you're excited. And maybe the biggest factor on the offensive side of the football, because Lord knows I am very excited about that Texas Tech defense. Haven't had one like that in a while, right? With the talent. Got me mixing up my words over here, how excited I am about that Texas Tech defense. But we're specifically going to talk about the offense in today's video because it feels like every time you hear Joey McGuire talk about fall camp, whether it's with the local media or after a scrimmage, and we'll have some scrimmage notes here in the video at the end as well, but explosive plays come up. And it's not just at the wide receiver position, it's at the running back position. And I kind of want to dive deeper into that in today's video, discussing how good Mack Leftwich has been with explosive plays during his time at Texas State, specifically when it comes to really being a top-tier offense nationally, regardless of if you're in the SEC, Sun Belt, doesn't matter. His offenses typically are ranked really, really high when it comes to explosive plays. So what is an explosive play? Let's get into that first. So the common thread that I have found, and I'm sure other people will, go out and say, oh, that's not it. It's a little bit different. For me, it's this. An explosive play is a 10-plus yard run and a 20-plus yard pass, okay? So if you run for 10 yards, that's an explosive play. If you have a pass of 20 yards, that is an explosive play. Some will say a pass of 15 yards, that's fine too. Really whatever you want to say on that front. But for today's video, we are going to go by the 10 and 20 rule, 10 on the ground, 20 through the air. All right, let's jump in and look at where Texas State ranked last year when it came to explosive plays. All right, you see it on your screen. Shout out to, Sports Source Analytics, good site when it comes to really breaking down the nuances of specific types of plays within college football. Texas State, as you can see, was 11th when it came to explosive plays last year. Texas Tech, not too far behind. Now, that was for 10-plus, okay? This is where things get interesting in the sense that if we look over here, right, Texas Tech had 3 50-plus yard plays last year. Texas State, 8. We move inward. 40-plus for Texas State, 18. Then you had 13 for Texas Tech. Then things start to even out a little bit overall. But Texas State, 560, 270, right? They had plays where they understood how to create space on the outside. And I think maybe the biggest compliment I can give Coach Leftwich is the fact that he did this with multiple quarterbacks at Texas State, okay? You talk about TJ Finley, a guy that was really, really just down on his luck in terms of, I don't think a lot of people thought he was good. He started his career at Auburn, transferred to Texas State, and he balled out with Mack Leftwich. Mack Leftwich gets the absolute most out of the quarterback position, and rightfully so. He was a guy that played quarterback and was coached, or a coach's kid, I should say, but he played quarterback at UTEP, had to retire early, unfortunately, in terms of his career due to a shoulder injury, but it allowed him to get into coaching. And, well, here he is in his early 30s as the offensive coordinator for the Red Raiders and has a resume backing up that, hey, he knows what the hell he's talking about, whether that's with Cam Ward at Incarnate Ward and the success that he had at the FCS level, whether that's in the Sun Belt at Texas State, really having one of the most high-powered offenses in all of college football. Now he comes into a Texas Tech situation where Behren Morton's healthy. The offensive line is in the best shape it's been in the past decade, right? You've got skill positions galore in terms of players. Where's the weakness, right? And the reason I wanted to talk about the explosive plays more than anything was the fact that Joey Maguire has talked about it ad nauseum, it feels like, in every presser he's had. Now, it's not one of those things where it's the first thing he talks about, but it feels like he drops a nugget here, there, and really every presser, as I've mentioned, discussing the explosive plays. And he did so talking about scrimmage number 2. Now, we'll learn more about scrimmage number 2, but Texas Tech did post some Joey Maguire post scrimmage number 2 notes in a video, and I found some interesting, and explosive plays were part of it, where he talked about Behren Morton hitting Caleb Payday Douglas on a deep shot. And you can go and watch this video over on the Texas Tech socials. To me, if I am doing a rough calculation of where Behren Morton's feet were and where Caleb Payday Douglas caught the football, it looked like Behren Morton threw it about 55, we'll say 50 to 60 yards in the air, with 55 being probably the most accurate, okay? And that's something, truth be told, we did not see last year. Simple and plain. We just did not see that. And it was obviously because he was injured and you had to space things out, and you used the intermediate passing game and the short, quick passing game, mostly screens. Sorry, Tech fans, you will see more screens this year. It will be fewer and far between. But now you're going to see them in the sense of, okay, this is to make sure the defense collapses a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage, and that allowed your speedsters and Reggie Virgil, guys like Caleb Payday Douglas and others, to go and create separation one-on-one on the outside and hope that Behren Morton can hit him deep for an explosive play. Now, I don't consider, explosive plays to be limited to the offense, but there are defensive ones as well. But that's a neither here nor there thing. That's just a personal preference. But Joey Maguire also talked about the running backs when it came to scrimmage number 2. And that was something that stood out to me in the sense of all of the running backs continue to run physical. And even Adam Hill got run with the 2s in scrimmage number 2. Why is this so important, in my opinion, for the Texas Tech offense and how this impacts the explosive plays that they can have? Again, explosive plays, 10-plus yard rushes, 20-plus yards through the air. You're going to have a lot more opportunity in this Texas Tech offense now that Behren Morton is healthy and he can actually extend the field, right, for these runners to have better lanes, not to mention because the offensive line will be better, but have more, availability to run through the A, B, and C gap, or extend it to the outside for outside zone runs, and have the ability to have 10-plus yard rushes, because there's different ways to do it now, in the sense that you could have the speedster, Jacoby Williams. You could have the Quentin Joyners of the world, who had 7.6 yards per carry last year in Southern California with Lincoln Riley. Then you've got Cam Dickey, the bowling ball, right? There's multiple guys that can do this for you in the backfield, but they're all going to have better opportunities than Taj Brooks did, in the sense of this. Taj Brooks is the better running back, full stop. Let's not hear what I'm not saying, okay? But the defense has collapsed more on Taj Brooks because you had to respect Taj Brooks more. Also, because everyone knew Behren Morton wasn't going as deep as he possibly could, in the sense of extending the defense, right, because of the shoulder injury. Now he's healthy. Now he can extend the field. That's going to drop the linebackers a step or 2 back more. That's going to drop the safeties 2 or 3 yards back more, which will in turn allow more opportunities for the run game to have those explosive type plays. Mack Leftwich schemes it up too. It's not just through the air. He's done a phenomenal job when it comes to running the football as well. This is not just a strictly air raid system. It may have air raid principles, but there is a run game as well. And that's why I'm so excited about it, because you're going to see play action. You're going to see outside zone run concepts. You're going to see the tight ends involved. You're going to see Caleb Payday Douglas, Reggie Virgil extending the defense and making that intermediate passing game more fluid for Behren Morton, for the likes of Coy Aiken, Terrence Carter Jr., John Carlos Miller II, the running backs as well, Kelby Volson, Micah Hudson, the list goes on. And that's why I think explosives will be more, really fewer and far between, in the sense of last year there were fewer and far between. This year, I think it's going to be a common thing, because your quarterback's healthy, your offensive line is better, the scheme is there, and now you're going to have that availability in the intermediate part of the field. And the intermediate part of the field, to me, is about 10 to 20 yards, maybe really 10 to 15. But if you make a guy miss in 10 to 15 yards of space right there, you're winning and you're going for 20 plus. a majority of the time. And so I think Texas Tech is going to have the availability in terms of these explosive plays, but don't get it twisted. They're going to be able to ground and pound as well, whether that's from the standpoint of putting Quentin Joyner in there, who can kind of do it all. You've got, Lightning and Jacoby Williams, or you've got Cam Dickey, who they've been comparing. I heard at one point they're comparing him to a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle with how buff and athletic he is, and that might be my favorite comparison for a player, maybe in Texas Tech history. I will call Cam Dickey a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle all the time he scores touchdowns this year. I can promise you that. That is my promise to you here on the Red and Black Report. But overall, again, really solid scrimmage. There were explosive plays. They got to get the pre-snaps fixed a little bit in terms of there were some penalties there. The running back showed out. The defense had a show out or two as well. But the young guys stepped up, including Leighton Stone yet again. Colby Volson showed out. Will Hammond looked good according to Joey McGuire. And then Oliver Miles also had a pick in the red zone work that they had there. And I think they posted that video clip actually on social. So be sure to go check that out. But overall, solid scrimmage number 2. That will be the last time that Texas Tech practices in terms of live reps tackling until Arkansas Pine Bluff, but they will obviously practice tackling, just not in a scrimmage type setting. We're less than 2 weeks away, and I think there's going to be quite a bit of explosive plays for Texas Tech, not only in the non-con with the quote-unquote cupcake schedule that the Red Raiders have, but I think there's going to be a lot within Big 12 play as well, and I am super excited to watch this Mack Leftwich offense in 2025 out in the 806. All right, before we head out of here, I do want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor of the video, and that is Homefield Apparel. I think it would really be a failure on my part if I didn't bring up this tortilla toss shirt that they have. We have one here at the house. My wife absolutely loves it. And after what the Big 12 did to Texas Tech in terms of the 15-1, and oh, by the way, if you talk to anybody from Colorado about this on social media, apparently you get blocked because asking for proof on the internet is just a foreign concept in today's current climate. Anyway, go get this tortilla toss shirt. And the best part about it, you can save 15% on it when you use the code RBR15. So again, you help out the cause. You're going to have your favorite new t-shirt in terms of the tortilla toss shirt. I promise you, my wife has it. She absolutely loves it. You will love it too. There's multiple other vintage type t-shirts that they have over on the site. We'll scroll a little bit here for you to see if anything catches your eye since you stayed late. I love that double T hat, by the way. And then we've got the Texas Tech 1993 National Championship shirt for the Lady Raiders. But there's a ton of great stuff over on homefieldapparel.com. And when you use the promo code RBR15, you'll save 15% off on your entire purchase order. All right, that's going to do it for today's video. I'm RC Maxfield reminding you, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video and hit that subscribe button to stay in the know on all things Texas Tech, men's basketball, football, and everything in between in the portal, high school recruiting, and the latest breaking news. We've got you covered right here on the largest group of Texas Tech fans, almost 12,500 strong. I bet you by the end of the year, we're probably pushing 14K, people. I bet you we're there. We're giving you daily updates on everything you need to know, 100% free on your Red Raiders. And it's the most interactive Texas Tech community on YouTube, so you can't beat that. All right, we'll get out of here on this one. As always, stay safe and wreck 'em Tech and let those tortillas fly, damn it.